So this is the EKSA E1000 EKSA. This is a WT wireless gaming headset. So it has the pure voice ENC, the EKSA 7.1 sound base USB dongle. It works for all of the devices. Has a 1-key ENC switch. It has a bunch of things here. Has a 2.4 wireless ultra latency wireless connection, which I can't wait to actually test out here. It has the RGB lights you can turn on and off, and an ENC switch. And then on the back here, it says it comes with a bunch of things. Type-C charging cable, carrying patch, user manual, 3.5 audio cable, the dongle, the headset, and all the things you need. And then it has all the same type of specifications with the regular E1000s, and this has up to 36 hours of battery life with the lights off, which in my opinion, if you're using wireless, just turn off the lights. You have all of your crap here, including the dongle, which is just the dongle, and charger cable and 3.5. You have your headset is no sound, blah blah blah. Then you have your manual. Then you have your device, which pulled out of the bag is, in my opinion, a bit nicer than the other versions of these headsets. And for some reason, I have to rip this apart. And the reason why I say it's nicer is because no physical cable is attached. It also you can turn it off, and it just feels a bit different. You can't detach the microphone, but at least you can pack it away, so I'm stuck with the microphone attached. I have a ENC on or off for the microphone over here. I have a pairing, volume up and down, exclusive to the headset, not anything that's compatible with the computer, so it's different. Has a USB-C charger with, I believe, a light, 3.5, and then the software controls it all. So, you've seen the unboxing. Now here's my thoughts. So, I have some pros and cons about this. So my first thing is it costs around 50 bucks. Which is very, very good actually. And then, because that's like a price you don't normally see for a wireless headphone gaming headset that actually works and looks decent enough. It has the ability to turn off the RGB if not wanted, which is a great thing. So I can go ahead and power it on. You hold this button to power it on, and you can see RGB is there, and you basically double tap the button, give it a second, double tap, RGB off. Press this once to turn off surround sound. Press it again to turn on surround sound. I usually do surround sound off, but it automatically has surround sound on. Double press, RGB on, battery life decreased. Double press, battery off, RGB decreased. Press this, microphone off, microphone on, and then you hold it to power off. That's basically it. And then this is like a volume indicator switch, so you can basically, it doesn't independent from the volume on your computer, but you can turn it up and down. Now it also has a 36-hour battery life with RGB off, which is also longer than the competition. From what I've been seeing, even the high-end $150 Corsair headsets, $100, $250, whatever, they don't provide an 36-hour battery life. This is actually, I haven't had to charge this once when I first got it to make sure it's fully charged. But it works, it lasts, it's crazy. Construction is very sturdy, where the headband will stand wear and tear, so I can actually go like this. As you can tell, I'm really flexing it. And I can go like this, and as you can tell, it looks perfectly fine. I don't see an issue with it. Nothing actually looks off, and it looks good now, still. It's very, very low latency with this dongle, which is great, or you can have plug in through 3.5mm. But the dongle gives a very low latency. Like, I actually think this is good. You have an indicator light here, so you can use it. When it's plugged in, it has an indicator, which is good. And it basically connects within an instant to the computer, so you have no latency there. And if I press the button on my mouse, let's say I'm pressing a button to shoot, click to shoot, basically immediately latency of whatever the computer will give you is the only difference. But I feel I go boom, and I hear a boom right away, and this snap of a finger. The software allows for custom EQs, so I can actually go in there with the ANC on or the surround sound on or off. I can actually go through and change exactly what EQ I want from the stock one. I just use the EKSA EQ or EKSA because I think that sounds perfectly fine, including for music. And then built-in buttons to mute mics and turn off or on the RGB lights. As I showed you before, the buttons are here. Everything's on this side. Only thing on this side is the charging. This cannot be detached, whatever, but it slides up and down and you can move it back and forth and it basically stays in place. And then a 10-minute charge is up to 3 hours with lights off and there's a 2.5 hour charge time. So it's pretty good. And you also get a proper spatial awareness from enemies around you with the surround sound, which is a good thing because I actually thought there were some headsets that didn't do it well. And even with the surround sound off, you still get that good spatial awareness. Now my cons. So I went ahead and I will turn this on for you. And I'll let you see the RGB is here. I'll have a blinking light right there. And let me just plug it in. On this side, you can tell I'm plugging it in. Now I'm not holding down any buttons. The RGB turned off, it powered off. Now, what happens if you're in the middle of a game? You're going ahead, you're fragging people, teabagging, whatever the hell you want to do in the game, and all of a sudden, power off, battery dead, and the battery dies on you. What do? You plug it in and try to turn it on. What happens? It won't turn on. Why the hell? Is it broken? Oh my god, did I break it? What the hell did I just do to this thing? Like, what the hell? And you figure out, I cannot charge this and use it at the same time. I have to use 3.5mm now. But where the hell do I have a 3.5mm? Where's the box of this thing? I'm in the middle of a game. I need this. And now you're out of a headset. But why? What's the reason? I don't care if it takes me 3.5 hours to charge the damn thing. If I'm not able to use it while it's charging, what's the point in this? I'm a little bit confused here, and this isn't like me being angry or mean or something. It's just more of, I connected to the computer through USB so I can plug and play. Why can't I run through USB-C mode? Why isn't that an option? You can't use the USB cable to even connect into the computer. You have to use the dongle or the 3.5mm. And then 3.5mm turns the headset off, making mic not work. Also making RGB not work. So if you wanted RGB and 3.5mm, you can't do it. Screw you. And volume wheel on the headset doesn't sync over with Windows volume. It's independent. So this is like if you turn it down all the way, I can't turn it down anymore. So you can tell it's stuck at the bottom. Now it's at 0%, but Windows is still at 100. Turn this up, Windows is at 100, now it's at 100. Turn this to whatever 50% is, Windows is still at 100. This would be nice if, because it's a 2.5 gigahertz dongle, if this synced with the Windows volume, so when I turn this down, whatever Windows volume is, gets down from, let's say, 100, 75, 50, so I can actually see, and it syncs properly, but it just doesn't. That kind of sucks. Getting it though from EKSA was a breath of fresh air because I used a bunch of wired headsets from them and wired headsets in general. And I thought it was good. Like, okay, so you have wired headsets. Good. Now getting wireless was great. I always felt that the wireless was a requirement for gaming headsets because you get the best of what a headset provides along with having no wires. So I can move around. I'm not confined to go, oh my freaking lord, I died, blah! And whack, there goes the cable and flip out of my hand. Now, don't get me wrong though, being wired is great, allowing for the lowest latency possible, along with not having to deal with battery, so you always have a charge. But wires get in the way. So being wireless is nice to stand up and stretch without wires holding you back. So the quality of the headset, as I talked about before, I can basically make it go all the way around, is great. Now, as you can tell, I'm just doing this normally, and I have to push quite hard to even get this to move, this little headband spot. So that is actually great that that doesn't even budge. Now, the materials feel nice, it's soft to the ear cup, doesn't clamp too hard, And you also get a nice cushion on top. And just everything about this so far just feels super premium. Now, I understand fake leather, it's gonna flake, blah blah blah, whatever, but at least memory foam feels great. This part feels very cushiony, and the headset itself is actually quite deep, so my ears don't touch. You may have bigger ears than me, and if you do, okay, but my ear does not hit the inside and does not feel uncomfortable, and I can wear these for 4 to 5 hours at a time, and I'm still feeling amazing. And then taking them off my head and putting them back on, the only thing I really have to adjust for myself is just the position of where the headband is on top of my head. So sometimes if I put it on, it's too high up, so I have to move it further up, closer to me. Otherwise, I don't have to adjust the side of the headband because the side actually stays in place properly, which is always a nice thing to have. It's great. So it's great. I will throw a mic test here for you to hear what the microphone sounds like with the wireless mode. This is a test of the EKSA microphone with the environmental noise cancellation on the ENC. I'm just going to breathe normally. And then this is with mic ENC off, and I'll breathe normally. It's going to make noises, and it sounds great. So I was walking through the park one day, and people started yelling names at me. So I looked over at them, and they happened to be little kids. So I gave them the middle finger. I ran after them. They hit me. I got knocked out. I woke up to them staring at me and laughing because I just got beat up by little kids. But all in all, it's great. Has a great headband, great compatibility. Turn off RGB if you want to. It charges through USB-C, and at 10 minutes gives you 3 hours of playtime, or you can charge for 2.5 hours for full play. 36 hours, the longest battery life in anything. You can't remove this, but whatever. You can just push it up out of the way. You can turn on and off surround sound. You can mute the mic if you want to out of the click of a button instead of having to do something special. So anything can't hear you now. And it's great. It works. I love it. I think it's actually amazing to have. And I think it's built pretty well. It looks okay. Like, I'm not a fan of this fake plasticky metal over here. But whatever, I don't care. Has USB-C, has a charge indicator. And then on this side, it has a light indicator for when it's connected or not connected. 3.5mm. Volume wheel, which all the rest of the EKSA have. Now, I'm not going to pull this off because I'm scared and it sounds like it's going to break. But it's potential that you could replace these pads. Don't quote me on this. If you want to see if it can, EKSA will provide you with some support on that. But it seems like it's semi-replaceable. And there are no visible screws on the outside, like these are for show, these ones. And there's 2 in here. But otherwise, all in all, I love this headset. I think it's a worth it pickup, especially because it's around $50. And it comes as wireless and still sounds great. But if you did like this video, please rate, comment, subscribe, give it a thumbs up, and so enjoy the rest of your day.